You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video. Hey guys, Nary from Drakewing Gaming. Some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming at you another Let's Play episode of Supernova. Mnesis' Path? Mnesis Path. I don't know. I don't know if I'm probably pretty sure I'm not saying his name right. But anyway, guys, I am very interested to see just where this game goes. And I'm going to be doing his path first because the other ones are not quite done yet. So, anyway, guys, let's jump right into it and see where this super-powered adventure takes us, shall we? Alright, let's go. Alarm chain, you're up. Okay. Alright. No worries. Gil will guide you back to the med room. See you soon. I leave the room as Mnesis starts giving Gil instructions. I get a breather while the team assembles for another meeting about me. To my relief, I don't have to wait too long. Everyone is already in their seats. Vince gives me 2 thumbs up when I enter, while Mnesis merely nods at me. The Baron and Unbound, as always, are harder to read. As you all know, Nick has decided to keep the bracelet. As such, he will assume the persona of Templar. Why? Shouldn't we call him Squire or Stable Boy or something more appropriate to his station and experience? I can't tell if the Baron's just mocking me or if he's serious. Part of me wants to object to what Unbound said as well, even if I'm not about to suggest other demeaning aliases for myself. After all, I'm not Templar, bracelet or not. This is a matter of practicality. It would be prudent for the Sentinels to keep the truth of Templar's demise a secret. Really? Mnesis sits back in his chair, scratching his chin. That makes sense. We wouldn't want to advertise that we've just been weakened. Precisely. Moreover, we have very few leads on the killer. The news that he failed in his attack on Templar may drive him out of hiding. Oh. I guess I'm going to be bait. At least I'll have a shiny new set of armor to protect me. I stifle my nervous laugh. Shouldn't the people of Nova be allowed to mourn their fallen hero? There's an uncomfortable silence. As much as I'd like for that to be the case, I do think that's not our best option right now. The Baron huffs, but doesn't argue any further. So I'm just supposed to pretend that I'm Templar. The actual Templar. For the moment, Nick, you're supposed to stay out of sight. Which brings us to our next topic. Nick, Templar requires training. That's an understatement. I can't even summon the armor right now. I may have been in some scraps, but I'm not a fighter, and I have no idea how to handle a weapon of any kind. In short, I'm a mess. It'd be for the best if one of us took over of said training, or more precisely, one of you 3. There are matters that demand far too much of my attention. I look at the others. Vince raises his hand as if he's sitting in class. It's kinda adorable. I can do it. Wouldn't it be better if we spread the duty around between all of us? That would put undue strain on Nick. It is easier to assign him one mentor. The Baron turns his mask to Vince. All due respect in that, champ, but I think someone a little more experienced should handle the training. Mnesis, since you have buddied up to the rookie, why not take him under your wing? I don't think that's a good idea. Mnesis said so earlier too, but never explained why. Is he too busy, perhaps? Hey, maybe the youngest, but that's a good thing, right? I went through the same things as Nick not that long ago myself. I can help him. I believe the Baron is right, Superfang. The mentor role is not to be taken lightly. Which is why I think you should do it, Baron. Wait, what? Is that something I would want? You're the most experienced. Perhaps more importantly, you know Templar best. Nick needs that. As thrilling as wiping the snot off the rookie's nose would be, I'm sure I have much better things to do with my time. Let one of the youngsters handle it. Mnesis, stop being stubborn. Fox crosses his arms and averts his gaze. If I have to, I could. You don't have to. I'm telling you guys, I can train Nick. I've been in this for 4 years now. I'm not new. I can tell that this argument might be becoming circular. Perhaps I should weigh in with my own opinion. Although I'm not even sure myself. What they're saying all makes sense. I like Vince. He seems like a great guy and he's eager to help me out. But he's just 2 years older, and even if he got his powers earlier than I did, a more experienced mentor might be better for me. Mnesis has made it clear that he doesn't want to mentor me. To be honest, that hurts a little. I thought he liked me. He did say he's gonna do it if he needs to, and he is more experienced in Super Fang while not being an asshole like the Baron. Speaking of which, the Baron. The Baron scares me a little. I'm sure he wouldn't actually hurt me, but he sure seems to dislike having me around. Would it be a good idea to entrust myself into his paws? On the other hand, he is the most experienced of the three, and if he was that close with Templar, it might be worth spending time around him. The Sentinels keep talking over each other as I contemplate my options. But who should I go with? Easy. Mnesis. Maybe it would be a good idea to have a private conversation with the Fox and learn why he's so reluctant. But I can tell that Unbound wants this question resolved now, so I'm not going to dally. I felt Mnesis' support ever since I first walked into this meeting room. I see no reason why that wouldn't extend to my training. What Baron said makes sense. I would feel comfortable with Mnesis mentoring me. If you're sure about this, maybe. I am. I give the Fox my most reassuring smile. Alright. I wish he'd sound more enthusiastic about this, but I just know that Mnesis won't lead me astray. Very well, so be it. Nick, rest assured that you are in good hands. But I will reiterate that for now, your task is to lay low until you get the hang of your newfound strength. Sure, yeah, I understand. I glanced down at the bracelet. Is there anything I can do on my own, though? I don't have a good grasp of my, powers. I tried to summon the armor, but nothing happened. Baron? The Baron taps his fingers on the table. Can't help there. You'll have to figure that out on your own. As for what the bracelet can do, you have already seen most of it. The armor is extraordinarily resilient, and the mace is no joke either. You'll be able to fly, although not indefinitely like some. Should the armor be damaged, the bracelet will repair them over some time. It will also repair your body to an extent. I frown at that, raising a hand to my chest. Yes, you might have noticed that you recovered faster than you would have under normal circumstances. Now, before you do anything stupid with that information, know that it will not save you from mortal wounds. It accelerates what your body can do on its own, nothing more. I will keep that in mind. Thanks. Just make sure nobody can see you when you summon the armor. Hell, don't even try unless one of us is around. Huh, well, I doubt I'll follow this last bit of advice, but I'd nod along anyway. With that settled, we have some more urgent matter to discuss, that being the identity of Templar's murderer. Not much to say there, unless one of you has discovered something new. Nobody I've contacted has heard of a canine supervillain in black with shiny green fists, including Greg. Who, by the way, has been riding my ass about the new Templar's identity. You haven't told him yet? Didn't we just talk about how we wouldn't? Like that ever stops you? Unbound gives both a warning look accompanied by a chagrined sigh. I suppose Gregory should be informed. He will be impossible to avoid at the funeral. If you say so. I have no idea who this Greg person might be. Another superhero, maybe. But something else catches my attention. When's the funeral? Monday. I felt a lump forming in my throat, but I continued talking anyway. I'd like to come. Why? You didn't even know him. Mnesis ignores the Baron. If you want to, Nick, I see no problem with that. I'm sure you want to pay your respects. Yeah, thanks. I can tell the Baron is unhappy, but before he can argue, Unbound brings the conversation around to the previous topic. Regardless of the wolf's identity, what is curious to me is how Templar came across him, and why he didn't call for backup sooner. Vince shuffles in his chair, his ears splayed back. As I told you, nothing on the recordings from the day suggests anything was amiss until he left the base. Indeed, my own time going over them showed as much. For all we know, Templar tried to stop him from some criminal activity, and it escalated from there. I believe that to be likely, but I could find no incidents from that afternoon worth our attention. So we have nothing, then? It appears so. I don't have anything to offer to this discussion. The four of them have heard all I know, and I've described Templar's killer in as much detail as I could. Either way, I'll talk with Greg again. I just hope I can keep the conversation with him brief. You know how he is. Mnesis chuckles. We appreciate your sacrifice. You better. For the first time since I've met them, they sound friendly with each other. Well, I guess they are teammates after all. Very well. Keep us updated, Baron. As for you, Nick, you should be good to return to your residence tomorrow. I perk up a little at hearing that. I won't deny that finding myself in the Sentinel's hideout has been thrilling in its own way, but I'm eager to return to my own bed. I trust that you can keep everything that's happened secret. If you need to, we can discuss the specifics of that before you leave. I think I've got it covered, but I can run it by you if you'd like. Unbound nods to that. I could drive you to your college sometime in the afternoon. How does that sound? Yeah, that'd be great. After I make sure it's safe. You kids take care of that. You. He points to me. Come with me. Where? You'll see. It's just a small matter before you leave. What is this about? A precaution. Mnesis gives him a long, tense look. Play nice. Yeah. Alright. Nick, you'll be fine. I get even more nervous at that, but I nod back at the Fox regardless before following after Baron. To my surprise, the Baron leads me straight to the med room. He says something to Gil while we're walking, speaking in a low enough voice that I can't hear the individual words. I don't know if that's on purpose, but it puts me on edge. As we enter, my eyes drawn to the small table where I spot a rather oversized syringe. The Baron picks it up and turns to me. What the hell is that? A tracking chip. What? Absolutely not! Listen, rookie, you'll thank me when you inevitably get your ass in trouble and need our help. So quit whining and pull up your sleeve. Fine. Yeah, fine, that's fine. I mean, I understand why. Is this necessary? I value my peace of mind very highly, so yes. I'm touched that you care so much about my well-being. I roll up my sleeve and grit my teeth. Keep dreaming, rookie. I'm concerned about the bracelet. Of fucking course he is. The syringe plunges into my flesh, but it doesn't hurt too badly. Now stay put until Superfang picks you up. And before I can retort, the Baron is already out the door. I'm so glad he's not going to be mentoring me. Hopefully I'll deal with him as little as possible. I rub my arm. It's a little sore, but nothing compared to what my chest felt like a couple days ago. What am I supposed to do for now? I wish one of the four would give me a proper tour of the place. Oh, since technically I'm part of the team now. Maybe my new mentor will do so when we begin training. I wonder if everyone has left by now. What would they be up to all day anyway? Patrolling the city, maybe? I remember Mnesis mentioning that Vince likes doing the hero stuff in the streets. That could mean that the others deal with more large-scale stuff, like alien overlords and shit. It has happened a couple times. Regardless, I'll learn soon enough what the day-to-day life of a superhero is like. I stare again at the reddish band. I've been doing that a lot. The reality of it all is sinking in. I'm a superhero now. A freaking superhero. Damn. I can't deny the excitement, but there is fear there, too. My mind flashes back to the image of the snarling wolf smashing his fists with ungodly force into Templar's armor. Over and over again. The badger inside the armor, bleeding, broken, dying. My breathing speeds up. The pounding in my heart is deafening. All traces of the thrill I was feeling are gone. Nick, I detect that you are in distress. No, I'm fine. It's fine. I force myself to breathe. Slow, even breaths. Gradually, my heartbeat returns to normal. It won't happen to me. The Sentinels know they have a deadly enemy out there now. They won't let harm come to me in that way. No way. Still trembling a little, I manage to push the thoughts aside. I'm safe. I'm safe. I'll be alright. I have people to guide me. Everything is going to be fine. Well, I certainly hope so. Before Vince comes to pick me up the next day, I have a brief chat with Unbound, going over what I should tell people when I'm out there again. She seems satisfied with my ability to cover my tracks, so the talk doesn't last long. By the time we're supposed to leave, I'm desperate to be out in the sun again. Naturally, my phone informs me it's going to be overcast. Can't complain about the company, at least. I'm amused to see that Vince's car is only slightly less shitty than mine. I guess superheroes don't pay well. Vince apologizes about the sorry state of the ride before I can get a single word out. He looks embarrassed about it too, so I assure him it's fine. We're in the large cavern I've glimpsed a couple times during my stay here, which I now know serves as the garage. Anyway, Mnesis says we're good to go. Did he? I don't know. Go and check my dorm room or something? No idea. I mean, he could sneak inside if he wanted to without much trouble. Oh, right, you have a roommate. Maybe not. Alright. We get in the car and start riding down a narrow tunnel. Vince has pushed his seat almost all the way back. I examine the tunnel as we drive. The rocky walls and ceiling in the cavern suggest we're underground somewhere. I've proven right as the path slopes upwards and I spot the entrance sliding open for us. Ooh. We emerge onto a dirt road, and as I glance in the side mirror, I see the entrance close again, leaving a perfectly innocent patch of ground. We're up in Saltsford Park. Vince seems to have noticed me looking around. Don't worry, this part is private property and Gil monitors the entrance. How was all this built? Gil has a lot of buddies. Like, robotic ones? Yep. I pondered that while Vince drives us onto a proper road. I guess that explains who takes care of the facility. It would be silly to expect the Sentinels to do it, and the hiring staff would be out of the question. Nova glitters in the distance. Saltsford is one of the largest parks in the state. I've hiked here a couple times. The lush forests are a perfect complement to the sandy beaches to the west. It's not too far from the city either, so the Sentinels could be back there in a short time. Well, the flying ones at least. Do you usually drive all the way up here? Nope. Mnesis is the only one who does. How do you get around then? Vince grins. I'll show you sometime. We're quiet for a bit. I gaze out the window, appreciating the view of the city. Okay, alright. Hey, Vince, I guess I haven't asked, what have you been up to since high school? Besides the Superfang stuff, I mean. The tiger holds the steering wheel with one paw, scratching his cheek with the other. Not much, really. I did pre-med at Nova U. Now I'm taking a year off to shadow some doctors to prep me for med school. The surprise I'm feeling must be showing because Vince's whiskers twitch and he gives me a nervous glance. What? Nothing, just unexpected, I guess. You were so into theater, I figured you'd go into the arts. Oh, no, not really. My parents didn't want me to, and I wasn't about to disappoint them. Huh. My own parents weren't thrilled when I decided to major in English, so I get where he's coming from. Did you do any drama stuff in college? No, I was too busy. I feel a pang of disappointment. It's cool he's studying to become a doctor, but the tiger was so passionate about theater. I don't think I've seen any other high schooler get into as much as Vince would whenever we were putting on a show. He almost always got the lead parts, too. Honestly, with his looks, he could have become a famous actor. What about you? Still in it? Not quite. I began writing instead, and I was awful at acting anyway. Don't say that, dude. You had a great voice. You were a godsend for the musicals. Not inaccurate. I can indeed sing, but I'm nowhere near as good as Vince is making it sound. I beam at him anyway. You know, I'm so glad you decided to do this. Meaning? Join us. Become a superhero. For a bit, I wasn't sure you would. I tilt my head, thinking. Well, I won't lie. Unbound didn't make it sound easy. Talking to that with Mnesis helped, I think. Well, I don't know. You seem doubtful, but it's the right thing to do, yeah? You'll do great. I'll try, but thanks, Vince. We chat a little more about this and that. Turns out Vince does some volunteer work as well. I can't comprehend how he manages to pull it off, since he is also a freaking super fang. When I ask, he reacts with an awkward smile. We're soon in the city, and it doesn't take long from there to get to the Grifton. Vince drops me off near my dorm. Oh, forgot to ask. You want me to drive you to the funeral tomorrow? No, I'm good. I should be able to get my car back by then. You sure? Frank lives nearby, and I was gonna pick him up. Might as well all go together. You know what? Sure. Text me, alright? Sounds good. Mnesis didn't mention he lived near Grifton. I wonder if I've ever seen him in his civilian guise, unaware of his true identity. Doubt it. Nova's a huge city with way too many people. Vince waves off before driving. Off. The quad is fairly crowded. It's mid-afternoon after all. Several students are just lounging on the grass, reading or chatting. I head into my dorm building, messaging Lucas that I'm back. He doesn't respond while I take the elevator ride to the fourth floor. To our floor, not the fourth floor, our floor. I've somehow managed to retain the keys to our suite. When I open the door, I see a blur of movement. Ah! I barely have any time to react before I'm half hugged, half tackled by my wolf roommate. Hey, ow! Dude, you're gonna crush my ribs! Lucas laughs at that, the vibration passing from his chest into mine. Sorry! I'm just glad you're, you know, good. I feel a little awkward. Lucas tends to be quite open with his feelings, but he's never been this openly affectionate. I am indeed good. I grin as he slaps me on the back. Careful, asshole, I'm still sore. It's good to be back. If only for a moment I can forget about the craziness behind and ahead of me. I sit down on my chair and turn to face Lucas. But, yeah, for real though, I was losing my mind before you texted me. I'm so touched. Lucas chucks a pillow at me. I catch it, laughing, but don't throw it back. Okay, I'm just happy we both made it out of there. Heh, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna pause it right there, guys. It's been another episode of Supernova. Really enjoying it so far. This is a really good furry visual novel. I cannot wait to see what this is like in version 1.0. Oh man, it's gonna be awesome. But anyway, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell, and give a super thanks if you can. It always helps. And until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!